Hi guys, so I got the opportunity to see Arsenic and Old Lace, and I really liked it. It was in a black box theater, so found space, and it was like dark when you walked in, small, and it was old mixed with a little bit of modern. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, but it was like, it was in a modern place, but it was set up to look old or vintage, I guess. It was in the 1940s. It was in a house in Brooklyn. Some of the directors are Craig Nelson, Lynn Forth, Kayla Arley, Zane Cooper, Rebecca Berriman, and some of the actors: Teddy Bristow, Mr. Witherspoon, Martha Brewster, Abby Brewster, Jonathan Brewster, Martimer Brewster. The things I used to describe about the play, like the things you could see like before it started was you could definitely tell it was in the inside of a house. You could see like the living room, the dining room. And it kind of looked like it was going to be like depressing and sad. And it was like sad, low energy. Characters conflict. Protagonist, I put Teddy Brewster and Martha Brewster because like whenever they were in a scene together, they just really like worked off each other, and it was really cool. Antagonist, I put Jonathan Brewster and Martimer Brewster because they just were at each other and it worked. For Teddy Brewster and Martha Brewster, I put that they were powerful, straightforward, and bright. For Jonathan Brewster and Martimer Brewster, I put bright, angry, and forward. And then for Teddy and Martha Brewster, I put bold, brave, and straight up. For Jonathan Brewster and Martimer Brewster, I put strong, not wanted, and wrong. And then for a specific moment, think that was particularly dramatic, effective, or significant, I said the scenes between Jonathan Brewster and Martimer Brewster because they were just constantly at each other, and so it kind of really showed you what a family is when there's an estranged person in the family that comes back. Describe a striking use of an image or simile by a character or moment in which such an image is used. I put Martimer Brewster and Elaine Harper when he makes her leave the house after proposing, because it was kind of like, it was like a dramatic end, because like he had just proposed and she had said yes, and then all of a sudden, he was pushing her out the door because he had found out information. So it was like one of those things. Lights, I said bright, but some like at scenes and like in between scenes it would be like real bright pops of color, and then it would go dark. So that was what I really thought. And then what was the high point of the action, the climax, and do you think it was staged well? I said when they were caught killing people, both Abby and Martha, and then Jonathan Brewster. Yes, but because they were all yelling and upset with each other, because though they had all found out and though they were all three guilty, they were guilty at different times, and so it was kind of like one of those like, oh, okay, I didn't know another part of my family was doing it too. So it's kind of like, oh, it's right, When conflict was resolved, how did the prediction elements, acting, directing, sound, lighting, costume, or set, add, or distract? I said the last scene with Martha, Jonathan, and Martimer Brewster, Abby Brewster, because they found that Jonathan and Martha and Abby had killed the same amount of people. Because it was like, that scene, it kind of became a competition between those three, because they had, between like Jonathan, Abby, and Martha, because they had all killed people, but it was a competition to know who had killed more, and it turned out that they were tied. Is there anything that puzzles or confuses you about either the play or the production? I said no. Would you go see another play based on this experience, and why? I said yes, because it keeps you on your toes and on the edge of your seat, because you were kind of like just waiting to see what was next, like what was going to happen next, what was taking place next, and and how it was going to be like portrayed, because it was like just one of those plays where you kind of like got really into it. There was no character like directly addressed in the audience. Scenery was dark in a house. Costumes was old but right for the time period. Lighting was dark, sometimes bright. I wrote one word or short phrase, and I ended up writing like one word and then a short phrase. I said cruel and then constantly hilarious, because it was like, it had its cruel moments, but it was also like constantly in a way hilarious, because they were always at each other for what we would say was not like a really good reason to be at each other's throats, but in their eyes it was, because it was their family and they were trying to protect them. Have any audience members been asked to participate in some way? If so, describe. I said no, they have not, because during the whole play there was no involvement of the audience. Like, we weren't none of us were directly asked to participate, but it was a really good show and I really enjoyed it. And I would definitely go see something like it. It was an eye-opener and I really liked it. Thanks for listening.